In 2023, prior to the rollout of end-to-end encryption of Facebook Messenger, there was a total of 36 million reports of child sex abuse made to the authorities by social media companies. That's 110 million images and videos. Can you tell the committee, in your estimate, what percentage of those 36 million reports came from Meta platforms?
I don't have that figure.
I can tell you what the answer is. It's 85%. So you were doing a decent job. But now, because of the end of end-to-end encryption, because the end-to-end encryption used by Meta, the National Crime Agency suggests that they were expecting a decline of 80% of those reports from Meta this year. Is that acceptable?
End-to-end encryption is a fundamental technology designed to keep people safe and protect their privacy. We take these issues around safety and security incredibly seriously. There are a number of things that we do in terms of cooperation with law enforcement to ensure that we're able to act when, for example, a report is made on our platforms, that we can pass that to the relevant authorities. We're able to look in some cases at patterns of behaviour, for example, if an individual is setting up a large number of suspicious accounts, we're able to act on that and refer it. We work extensively with a number of partners around safety on these issues. It's important that we address them clearly and effectively. At the same time, encryption, as I've said, is a fundamental technology that also contributes to keeping people safe and protecting their cybersecurity. These are difficult issues to deal with.
Isn't it a fact that 20 years ago, someone like Gary Glitter had to go to the other side of the world to prey on children? Someone like Jeffrey Epstein had to create his own private paedophile island. Now these monsters, all they have to do is go on to set up a group on Facebook Messenger. Isn't it true that you've turned Facebook Messenger into Epstein's own paedophile island? A place where you can do what you want without getting caught? And isn't it the case that you're defending that in the name of free speech?
There is no place for that content in society. It's clearly abhorrent. It breaks all of the rules and policies for our platforms. I would say on issues like these, we do need a whole of society response to these challenges. And so the technology companies, including ours, have a part to play in that, and we engage, I think, effectively and constructively with law enforcement. But these are also deeper issues in society that everybody needs to be engaged in. So we want to do our part, cooperating with others.
Another big issue for Facebook is actually the Facebook community groups that many of our constituents are part of. They have tens of thousands of members. Yet often their gatekeepers are individual admins, 2 or 3 amateurs who are expected to moderate that content, whether it's libelous content, harmful content, or other damaging content. Are you satisfied that your guidelines to those individual admins are robust enough to protect the public?
We have incredibly strict rules around what is and is not permitted on our platform. Those rules apply regardless of whether we're talking about these Facebook groups or other areas. We run the same policies and enforcement against those. Users in those groups can report content that is concerning to them. We're very clear with people about what's expected and not expected on the platform.
People in the group have to report the content. Nobody outside the group can report the content.
Some groups are set up publicly. Some groups are set up for their members, but that does not prevent the members in those groups from reporting the content.
But don't you putting a huge onus on 2 or 3 amateurs who are moderating each of these groups, which have got tens of thousands of members? You're putting the onus on those individual admins as gatekeepers to see whether or not that content is or isn't libelous, or is or isn't harmful.
No, because we run, as I've said, we run our own enforcement on the most severe harms and content that is prohibited on our platforms, and we allow users to report, and then as appropriate we will investigate those and take action where it's required.
Do you have any guidelines for those admins?
We have the community standards, which I'm happy to share all of this material with the committee after the session, but we're very clear about what is and is not allowed on the platform.